Look, Cardi B just got absolutely blindsided by the universe on a global level, and the explosive evidence dropping right now is straight radioactivity. The exact personal cook everyone dismissed as a desperate clout chaser just entered the public square flaunting leaked text messages, secret confessions, and a terrifying new allegation that Stefon Diggs, that specific athlete, allegedly put hands on Cardi B while she was actively pregnant. And this man honestly believed a basic Mother's Day photo op for the paparazzi cameras was going to erase this nightmare. The guy picked the absolute worst moment to pretend to be a devoted husband. Smash that subscribe button immediately so you never miss this chaotic unfolding drama. Mila Adams, the private chef known across social media as Chef Ma, went viral on Instagram on November 18, 2025, claiming Stefon Diggs abused a pregnant Cardi B during their secret romance just days after a local jury declared him not guilty of attacking her in his Massachusetts residence. The toxic upload dropped the exact week Cardi B was recorded by paparazzi screaming that the entire situation is messy right at his face outside a local coffee shop on May 14, 2026. The athlete genuinely assumed smiling at a holiday charity function would cancel out a major felony strangulation trial. The man completely miscalculated the entire situation. Now, let us dissect the actual evidence exposing why this elaborate damage control is totally blowing up in his face. Let us get into it. Let me lay the actual legal documents out because this reality is getting completely out of hand. In her viral social media statement from November 18, 2025, Mila Adams stated directly to Cardi B, "You know exactly who he really is. He did it to you, too." Reading that statement live made me completely freeze up. Is this woman honestly coming for the undisputed queen of mainstream rap without fear? Absolutely not, people. Then check out the official court petition itself. According to legal records uncovered from the December 2024 physical violence case, Adams claims that during a financial argument over an old payment, the athlete struck her with an open palm, violently choked her, and slammed her straight down onto a mattress. The man did what? Over a minor payroll issue. That is the most pathetic way to catch a serious criminal charge imaginable. But this is exactly where the written conversations get incredibly scandalous. In the official filing, the athlete allegedly sent a barrage of hostile messages stating, "I won't be paying you anything," followed by severe profanity indicating he refused to handle her salary while also funding an alternate cook. Analyzing this message made me realize this is a multimillionaire sports star escalating a petty financial war with household staff. That represents the ultimate behavior of a desperate individual. Now, this specific revelation completely shattered the internet space. Chef Ma distributed incriminating screenshots online asserting the athlete offered a massive six-figure bribe to withdraw her physical injury allegations after his legal team secured an acquittal. Pause for a second. Why are you distributing massive payoffs to an individual you claim you never laid a finger on? Logically explain that situation, everyone. Furthermore, in an official video uploaded during the criminal proceedings, Adams confessed, "We started off as friends, then became sexual, and then I became his chef." That specific statement completely demolishes the corporate narrative that she was merely a standard employee. The man hired a woman he was already intimately involved with. That is not a corporate recruitment process. That is a complicated romantic dynamic with an active salary attached. Finally, consider that viral locker room video that just resurfaced from his past team. The specific clip where pro athletes were questioned about which teammate they would forbid from dating their own family members ended with the star receiving the top spot while his actual friends laughed hysterically. Rewatching that footage made me realize the warning signs were entirely obvious multiple seasons ago. Now, let us piece the entire puzzle together. Behold the scandalous chronology of events that mainstream outlets are refusing to organize for you. That intense financial dispute occurred way back in December 2024, exactly 1 month before the celebrity couple celebrated the birth of their infant in November 2025. Meaning, while the general public was distracted by adorable infant portraits, the private cook was actively submitting an official report to law enforcement. The man honestly believed the internet would fail to compare these overlapping timelines. That public screaming match at the coffee spot materialized less than 48 hours after the performative family portrait session was staged for the public. 2 single days to shift from a picture-perfect domestic unit to public screaming matches in significantly less time than standard postal shipping requires. The star truly imagined a public relations appearance would guarantee him prolonged immunity from public scrutiny. That specific social media accusation from Mila materialized the exact same afternoon the athlete exited the state courthouse celebrating his legal victory. The official judgment cleared him, and within mere hours she was actively tagging the rap star online. That is zero coincidence. That is a strategic woman who kept her statement archived and finalized, simply waiting for the perfect moment to strike. Essentially, the athlete falsely believed escaping conviction meant escaping public condemnation. A total failure to read the cultural temperature. The professional backdrop is exponentially more disastrous. The player suffered a massive defeat at the championship game, faced immediate termination from his organization, and confronted heavy criminal prosecution, all within a brief operational window. Furthermore, celebrity media outlets disclosed he fathered multiple children with multiple different romantic partners throughout a single calendar year while his primary partner was expecting. Any intelligent individual navigating multiple maternal complications within 12 months would have vanished from the public eye entirely. Instead, the athlete materialized at a major public function flashing an enormous smile. That reflects the behavior of an individual operating without any legitimate professional guidance. And here is the hidden reality that standard viewers are completely overlooking. The private cook was doing way more than meal prep. According to her online videos, she maintained an active friendship with Cardi B, exchanging messages constantly, even sending texts right after the official charges were dropped. That entire cozy vibe of planning vacation looks together with the exact woman whose partner she was allegedly sleeping with is a cold, calculated move for clout. So Stefon Diggs actually let his side piece feed his main woman her daily schedule. That is the ultimate behavior of a man who cannot think 2 steps ahead. Now pay close attention to this. Absolutely nobody is breaking down the specific wording in those leaked texts. The phrase regarding funding an alternate cook is not an accident. That single word "another" proves Stefon Diggs already had a replacement worker lined up before the argument even started, meaning he did not terminate Mila Adams over job performance. He cut her loose because she was no longer needed in his romantic rotation. That is not a standard workplace dispute. That is a messy breakup disguised as human resources management. Take a closer look at that alleged 6-figure payout offer, too. The specific math speaks volumes. A massive 6-figure sum is not standard shut-up money for a private cook. That is absolute panic money because you are terrified of what she will expose. If this situation was nothing, the financial offer should have been a few $1,000s tied to a standard non-disclosure agreement. The sheer scale of that number exposes the massive scale of the hidden truth. And Stefon Diggs completely failed to realize how terribly that financial math looks to the general public. Completely embarrassing. Now consider that quick cheek kiss staged at the holiday function. That specific physical gesture on the cheek, completely avoiding her lips in a room packed with media cameras. Body language specialists will tell you directly, an alpha male who is truly solid with his woman does not resort to performative public relations pecs. He delivers an authentic display of affection. But TMZ completely overturned that narrative less than 48 hours later by distributing that chaotic coffee shop footage alongside a highly sensationalized headline. They are framing the volatile relationship as the primary narrative, completely overshadowing the legal outcome. That identical week, a totally conflicting perspective emerged. US Magazine went significantly harder, broadcasting the private cook's physical abuse claims as a massive standalone headline. A former cook claims he assaulted a pregnant Cardi B. Their specific editorial angle treats the employee's allegations as highly newsworthy on their own merit, rather than dismissing them as post-trial bitterness from a disgruntled worker. That represents a massive corporate editorial decision. Meanwhile, Page 6 has been quietly building a narrative around his history of fathering 4 children with 4 separate partners in a single year for months before this explosion occurred. Their core angle is not that Cardi B's partner beat a criminal charge. It is that Cardi B has been dropping public warnings about his toxic behavior since the winter. Now, a handful of devoted sports fans are claiming the cook's entire story is completely fake simply because a local jury acquitted him. But those are the exact same individuals who failed to notice the criminal jury never issued a ruling on whether any misconduct occurred against Cardi B. An acquittal regarding Chef Mila's specific incident does absolutely nothing to erase that separate accusation that he mistreated Cardi B as well. Those are two entirely independent allegations. Stefon Diggs' loyalists are desperately reaching for straws, attempting to utilize a single legal verdict as a shield against completely separate, unrelated claims. The evidence does not lie. Even when high-priced defense attorneys execute their corporate jobs perfectly, the mainstream public narrative remains incredibly basic. A high-profile celebrity duo, a highly toxic boyfriend, and a deeply scorned worker. We have witnessed this exact Hollywood script play out before. Page 6 desperately wants this to remain a multi-maternal drama. TMZ wants to exploit it as a standard relationship fight. People magazine wants to archive it as a finished legal dispute. But here is the hidden truth that absolutely nobody else is telling the public. This situation is not about standard infidelity. This is a direct collision between the sports league's systemic domestic violence protection playbook and hip-hop's toxic cultural requirement to stand by an unfaithful partner. And Cardi B has become the ultimate public test case. An operational role she absolutely never requested. Look, let us be completely honest here. Professional sports organizations possess a highly documented operational playbook for these exact situations. A superstar player gets hit with a serious domestic violence allegation. The franchise immediately distances itself publicly. The official charges get quietly negotiated down behind closed doors. A local jury returns an acquittal. And the star athlete secures a massive new team contract by the following competitive season. We witnessed it unfold with Ray Rice. We witnessed it materialize with Kareem Hunt. We witnessed it happen with Tyreek Hill. Stefon Diggs is executing that identical corporate flowchart step for step. The New England Patriots terminated his employment contract not because they suddenly believed the private cook's claims. They cut him loose because suffering a massive championship loss made his toxic presence completely expendable to the front office. That is the sports industry exposing its own cold reality. The athlete is merely a corporate pawn in a massive system that fiercely protects profitable winners and instantly discards unprofitable losers. And right now, he is completely discarded. Now here is the specific reality that is going to make standard internet users incredibly furious. Cardi B is being strategically backed into a corner to absorb a massive cultural loss regardless of her final decision. If she chooses to remain in the relationship, social media platforms will label her a desperate enabler who tolerates physical danger for financial status. If she chooses to walk away, those exact same platforms will dismiss her as another cliché single maternal statistic who failed to maintain a stable household. The exact same public that celebrated when she asserted her historic music revenue belonged solely to her are now mocking her intellect for placing her trust in a toxic partner. That represents a deep double standard aimed directly at successful black women. When you secure massive professional victories, the mainstream culture desperately wants to witness you suffer an even greater personal defeat. The athlete is merely a convenient tool utilized to execute this public degradation. We have witnessed this exact destructive playbook deployed against Halle Berry, against Mary J. Blige, and against Whitney Houston. Stefon Diggs is simply recycling the exact same personal failures. But the far more alarming systemic pattern is the public's deep obsession with watching an influential black woman get publicly humiliated in the name of love. Now, this is where the conversation becomes exponentially more uncomfortable for the industry. Chef Mila is not merely an isolated victim or a simple fame-seeking clout chaser. She functions as a direct symptom of a much larger institutional crisis. High-earning professional athletes hiring attractive women under the guise of culinary assistants and personal stylists who operate behind the scenes as paid partners is the absolute worst-kept secret in professional athletics. That leaked text message regarding funding an alternate cook exposed the entire underground operation to the public. She was maintained on an official business payroll because their intimate relationship functioned within a corporate payroll model. That does not represent romance. That represents the laundering of intimate labor. And every single professional athlete watching this public drama unfold is sweating heavily right now because they are all running the exact same fraudulent household operation. Stefon Diggs simply got busted executing the sports world's most widespread personal scam. This is not simple celebrity gossip. This is the exact historical moment where the underground athlete partner economy faces a massive public audit in real time, and Cardi B is the unfortunate individual funding the entire public penalty fee. So, what exactly materializes next? There are 3 distinct future paths ahead, and you need to save this video right now because I'm making these definitive predictions today. Future path number 1, which stands as the most statistically probable resolution. Cardi B will quietly distance herself from the athlete and strategically rebrand her commercial image. Mark my words, within the next 6 months, the rap icon will drop a massive new anthem featuring songwriting that reads exactly like an official legal separation filing. That is precisely how she processes personal trauma. She monetisers it for the charts. Meanwhile, Stefon Diggs will find himself reduced to begging for untelevised workouts with professional organisations that refuse to return his management's phone calls. When the official football training camps launch and there is no jersey waiting for his arrival, he will look completely desperate launching a low-budget media podcast that absolutely nobody requested. That icy silence from Cardi B will inflict far more damage on his career than any official diss track ever could, because the internet algorithm will literally erase his digital existence entirely. He functions as an aging 32-year-old wide receiver navigating a toxic legal acquittal, terminated by his premier franchise, saddled with a massive multi-maternal history and a trail of digital evidence. The next professional franchise that signs his contract will do so strictly for corporate tax relief, completely ignoring athletic glory. Stefon Diggs will spend the remainder of 2026 watching his cultural relevance completely dry up while Cardi B collects another massive international performance check. Future path number 2, the volatile alternate reality. Cardi B chooses to remain in the relationship but establishes strict financial boundaries, while Mila Adams massively escalates her legal war. If she stays, and let us remain totally realistic, this global icon has navigated significantly worse relationship drama in her past. Mila Adams is absolutely not going to vanish from the media landscape. She will continue leaking highly incriminating evidence piece by piece. Just wait until the next wave of private text messages hits the internet forums. Just wait until she executes her inaugural high-profile video interview with a major mainstream network. Just wait until a major publishing house offers her a massive 7-figure biography contract, because an organization absolutely will. When that literature hits the shelves, Stefon Diggs will face a level of public destruction that a standard criminal courtroom could never inflict upon him. A massive civil litigation battle is arriving next. The legal discovery phase will force the public disclosure of every private text, every digital financial transfer record, and every private aviation travel log. The athlete is completely unprepared to navigate a high-stakes civil trial where the required legal burden of proof is significantly lower than a standard criminal prosecution. Remember my warning. By next summer, this individual will be issuing legal financial transfers significantly larger than that alleged 6-figure hush money offer just to bring the official legal depositions to a halt. Cardi B will maintain a performative public stance of solidarity while secretly shifting her massive financial empire into secure corporate structures he can absolutely never access. She possesses far more business intelligence than mainstream entertainment headlines ever give her credit for. Future path number 3. A massive structural shift across the entertainment industry. This situation transforms into a historic turning point for relationships between professional athletes and global celebrities. Analyzing the macro picture, this specific scandal will permanently alter corporate sports management contracts. 5 seasons from today, every high-profile sports agency will legally mandate their athletic clients to sign strict behavioral clauses with their domestic household employees. Half a decade from now, any elite female music artist initiating a romance with a professional athlete will legally require a comprehensive background screening, a mandatory domestic non-disclosure agreement package, and an independent forensic financial investigation before ever moving a single personal item into his residence. This specific situation will function as the definitive case study taught by academic corporate professors regarding total brand reputation collapse. Stefon Diggs is forced to watch the entire pop culture landscape advance forward completely without him. And the most ironic reality of all is that he fails to comprehend his own career demise yet. By the moment he finally deciphers his financial ruin, that leaked locker room video clip that went viral last season will serve as the opening sentence of his public legacy page. That performative audio bite claiming he is an incredible guy will mock his reputation until he is 70 years old. His enduring historical legacy is no longer an elite multi-time all-star wide receiver. It is a textbook warning sign. Meanwhile, Cardi B navigates this chaos with a triumphant personal evolution that secures her a massive biographical film production credit by 2030. Whatever final outcome materializes, one reality remains undisputed. The athlete has already suffered a total defeat. Thank you for tuning in. If you appreciated exposing the hidden truth behind the corporate headlines, smash that like button instantly and subscribe to the channel so you never miss a moment when we expose the realities that mainstream outlets are terrified to broadcast. Activate that notification bell right now. And if you are craving more explosive breakdowns just like this, click directly on one of these videos on your screen immediately. Believe me, you cannot afford to miss the evidence we uncovered next.